Well, as being part of the Screen Actors Guild, I have to tell you folks, I'm on strike. The other thing, there's the common line is, be careful when you give the preacher a pulpit. These days, maybe you've heard one of the more popular songs around is Fast Car, sung by Luke Combs. It hit #1 on the country charts. Fast Car has been designated as one of the 500 greatest songs ever written. It was originally written by the artist Tracy Chapman. It was a story of a young woman who was trying to do her best to really live. A fast car is a metaphor for finding a place, as the singer sings, where I had a feeling that I belonged, where I had a feeling that I could be someone, be someone, be someone. Chapman sings this particular story about hopeful dreams of an individual, which he evokes a deep understanding that we all belong to one another. For belonging is necessary for all of us to find our way, for us to be in a healthy community and country. We don't have to be established songwriters to know this about ourselves, that we need to belong to really be alive. I've got a great little friend, he's 5 years old, he just started school about 3 weeks ago. Got a wonderful picture of him, he's so proud, he's got his backpack on, he's smiling. I got an even better picture of him on the second day. He's going to school and he sees this friend that he has made in one day, and his friend sees him. They run to each other in the hallway and they hug. Already he is learning the power of community, the power of belonging, what it really means to be alive. We're characterized by what the poet John O'Donohue says, we have all of us a longing for belonging, the deepest desire of our nature, perhaps the healthiest awareness we can have. Aren't we most alive when we're belonging to our friends? Like this evening, we have family with us, friends, old friends, new ones, life partners perhaps, communities, even to belong to the earth itself, which is so important these days in our ecological needs. Or from my perspective in life's work, to belong to a broader spiritual reality, a community that you acknowledge. On the other hand, what's our worst feeling? That's of rejection, be excluded or disregarded. Too often rejection is dehumanizing and destructive of individuals and communities. And I think we can see that in our current cultural and historical context. Exclusion and scapegoating threatens the health of our democracy. At Ritenour High School, I felt like I belonged, that I could be someone, be someone, be someone. Here, I was fortunate to find places where I could belong, certainly to friends, to sports teams, as you saw, and more broadly to a community trying to live into the value that everyone belonged. Here was also a community of ideas, as Charlotte more articulately stated. Another Hall of Fame lifetime participant of mine was George Chapman, who got me my first job actually as an English teacher at Hague Junior High School, who set the tone in this school for excellence in leadership. And I still remember my English teacher, Mr. John, giving me a book called How Does a Poem Mean? Or my trigonometry teacher, or Mr. Washburn, who was the sociology teacher, saying that there's no way that we're all going to understand our purpose in life in school or community without addressing issues of discrimination and racial inequality if we're going to thrive. And then I'm proud to say, as an athlete in those various communities, that I could join this community with 3 coaches of mine who are lifetime recipients. Coach John Moore, Coach Lee Engert, and Don Maxey. I don't think it's any accident that they were all at this school. So I have a deep memory of belonging here at Ritenour High School. because it was a community to belong to. The feeling of belonging to something bigger than myself, a world of ideas, of diverse groups. It was a context for our growth and our learning. The importance of creating communities of belonging, I think, was more than just a feeling. It was an act of truth, if you will, that I carried through in my life and ministry and leading roles in the church and communities. So leading, coaching, teaching, finding ways to partner with others to create opportunities for an expansive belonging, to ever have as our goal to broaden our context, to broaden our sense of who is in the community and who belongs. Characterize these diverse interests and leadership with the projects that I championed. My life work in a religious setting, I think, mirrored what I experienced here, what was formative for me at Ritenour High School. I came to understand that we belong to one another, no matter our religion, cultural backgrounds, country of origin, sexual orientation, or skin color. We are all people who are valued. We find ways to address the structures that dehumanize and limit others. People who are without homes or without enough food, or experience discrimination because of their skin color or their sex. As Ritenour High School empowered me through encouragement and support, I have endeavored to lead through empowerment, through supporting and advocating for others. The church I led for 33 years really has impacted University City and St. Louis and international communities in Rwanda, Mexico, Congo, Tanzania, India, Ethiopia. I remember so many stories of helping orphans and widows who were suffering because of the outbreak of AIDS in their country and they lost their husbands and fathers. Or people impacted in Africa because they had no clean water, or who needed a safe playground because the animals were out there walking around. The underlying understanding was to always be in a living community of belonging to one another, in that belonging to be really living. So finally, what has given me satisfaction as I reflect upon my career in ministry, and is perhaps reflected in receiving this award, is that at the conclusion of my work, there is a healthy, life-giving community sitting at the corner of Forsyth and Big Bend, Bethel Lutheran Church, for those there now, for those yet to come, and for our broader community in Overland and the rest of St. Louis, and then even beyond our national borders. Well, I gotta say, I'm a little surprised to be included among the various luminaries of Ritenour High School Hall of Fame. I am gratified to be in such a community with others who worked toward the education and well-being of all, so that we could feel that we belonged, that we could be someone, be someone. Thank you very much.